there is anybody today with a phone can be a producer. Anybody today
Tell me
with a
about
computer
it.
can be a writer.
Yeah. I first met Dick DiBartolo in 1983 while on assignment for a long-forgotten show.
You know, I was so worried it was going to rain today.
Well, rain or shine, we do these
yes. Hey, you know what? I want to go get...
America knows Dick as the Giz Wiz guy and Mad Magazine's maddest writer. Mad Magazine is still around, but you'll no longer find it at a magazine rack or a newsstand. And that's a shame because the U.S. Constitution and Mad Magazine were printed with ink. So via Skype, Dick answered some questions of mine from his New York communications bunker. Okay, that's Dick DiBartolo fiddling around with the microphone right there. Believe it or not, George Lucas, the producer and director of Star Wars, called Mort Drucker and Dick DiBartolo the Leonardo da Vinci and George Bernard Shaw of satire. A bit much, don't you think?
It cost me $100 to have him say that.
Really?
No.
He's that cheap? But anyway, Mad's changing now. It has a new role in American society. And you've been there since, what, 1959, 58?
No, my first was 1962, my first article.
1962. You were still in high school, weren't you?
Yes. And
did you graduate from high school?
No, I will this fall, so I'm very excited about that.
Okay, good.
I have to finish summer school and then I'll be done.
Okay, good. Well, things are changing now.
Well, the biggest change, the biggest change, I guess, is there were two giant changes. I'll do it that way. Mad is part of Warner Entertainment, and Warner Entertainment owns DC Comics, which Mad is a part of DC Comics. And for years, they were saying that all divisions of the entertainment Warner has to move to the West Coast, to Burbank. And no one at Mad would go. So DC Comics moved out there, and every year they would say, if you don't go, we're going to close the office. And they would keep adding a year to it. And then finally, in December of 2017, they just said, no one's going. We're closing the New York offices. We'll just start with the new staff in California. I didn't know where I stood, but the new senior editor, Bill Morrison, said, you've been in every issue for more than 50 years, and we would like you to continue that if you're up for that. And I said, yeah, I'll do that. So even though there's a new staff in California, I kept writing for him. But the magazine changed drastically. I don't know. Did you ever see a copy of New Mad?
Yeah, I have, yes.
Yeah, it was kind of half comic, half mad. I don't think it blended well, but and not being in the office anymore, I have no idea if the circulation got better, got worse.
Back in 2017, that's not long ago, Rolling Stone said, operating under the cover of barf jokes, Mad has become America's best political satire magazine. And of course, we all agree with that. And that's been your role. Pop culture, social media, films, television, that's piqued your interest in writing very sharp pieces with the artists. Just an amazing thing. Now, what's going on here? Mad is apple pie for guys who want to hear the truth through humor and satire.
Well, what's going on is very sad. First of all, there was so little communication between New York and L.A. because we were no longer in office. There was no person to call, and then they would tell us all the news. And it was July 3rd, getting ready for the July 4th weekend, and I called out to ask about something I was working on, and they said, has no one told you anything? And I said, about what? And they said that Mad is stopping new issues. I said, what? And they said, after Mad 10, and I was talking about something I had written for 10. We will stop producing issues with new material and start just reproducing, have a new cover and then old articles in it, which basically is what used to be called the Mad Specials. They would do a special on a certain number of years and find all the articles and put it in there. Well, I mean, I shed some tears when I hung up. I thought, oh my gosh, this has been around for, I think it was 66 years, 65 in New York, and then it only lasted like a year and a half in L.A. Now, I know there are a lot of things that work here is that print media is really in trouble. But so that's sort of where it stands, that the issue on stands now is 9. There's one new issue, 10. There have been rumors that Mad did one big special year called the Mad 20. It was the 20 dumbest things of the past year. Yeah. And since they had started getting material for that, and I had already written something for that, they may eke out a Mad 11.
Wow.
But then that's as far as it goes.
Well, the thing about Mad Magazine that the late night TV shows and Saturday Night Live does not do is cast a far broader net for targets to make fun of and to satirize. And that's why the magazine format, the print version, is really, really important. You guys, over the life of the magazine, have inspired a lot of the top-rate comics and satirists for decades and decades, and now this thing is kind of gone.
Well, it will be, and the interesting thing is when you said cast a wide net, the thing about that is the writers, you were never assigned anything.
You cannot control the writers. There's no way to control the writers. This is a writer-oriented magazine. We never assign topics.
I just have to pick up my paycheck. In case you didn't know, we get paid scale.
I mean, you would be assigned a movie or a TV show because they didn't want two writers writing on the same thing. So you would be assigned it. Mm-hmm. And you assign that, like if it had anything to do with technology or captains, either of industry, of a ship, anything, I would be assigned that because they said you're the best at lampooning authority. You know, if it was a thing about families, then Stan Hart got it. But the writers could write about anything they wanted and send it in.
Which is wonderful because late night TV, the talk shows, it's all about Trump. Trump, Trump, Trump. Come on. Too much of that stuff. There's a lot of other silly, stupid, dangerous things happening in this country, and we need you guys back. Now, I have another question. Do you believe in the Lazarus principle? Things come back to life.
You know, I'm not sure. Only because there is anybody today with a phone can be a producer. Anybody today with a computer can be a writer.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, you know, I do a podcast and I review stuff on ABC. And sometimes I'll say, let me see what someone else thought of this. Well, it turns out that there must be thousands of people posting reviews online. Yeah. You know, for anything from, are they kidding me? This lady sitting in a dark corner and I can't see what she's holding, and she's trying to review a product and she's out of focus. I mean, but there is so much content online and in the world that I don't know how Mad can make a lot of noise anymore. I mean, maybe that's a bad way to feel about it.
What kind of dirge music would you choose when that time comes when it's officially no longer a rerun? Dirge music, funeral music, would you choose?
Oh, you know, Chopin. Dennis says Chopin. That's my
Chopin?
agent.
Okay.
Chopin.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, fortunately, we have the memories of the Gaines years where, you know, no one can ever take that away. Just,
No.
I remember when Bill died and people from Warner came over, and they looked around and they called us all in and they said, "This place looks like a high school newspaper." Well, we thought,
Cool.
yeah, yes, exactly. Isn't that great?
Cool.
And then that was followed by, "This is not going to happen now that Bill is dead. Bill put a wall between you and the corporate world. He's dead. The wall is coming down." This is our introduction to being absorbed into one of the Time One offices. They were really depressed about that. You know, I remember when Bill, he said, "Listen, I'm taking over some more office space. Who needs more space, and tell me why?" Bill, I need 2 more desks. All right. Why do you need 2 more desks? "I want to put model trains in." "Oh, my God," Bill said. "That's great. Yes, you'll have 2 new desks." And he did.
Does a fellow like Bill Gaines roll over in his grave?
It's going to be hard because he was cremated.
Yeah. I bet he could do it, though, somehow.
He'll spin in his urn.
Dick, thanks so much for being with us. It's been a
No,
tough
this is
time
great.
for culture in America, and the news of Mad Magazine taking on this new role is not a happy one.
No, but look at you know, the great thing is all the emails from like famous people who said, "I remember when you did my satire in my movie, and it was great to have all that. But I wish it were the old days and we were just continuing."
Dick's wonderful book, Good Days and Mad, is stuffed with great insider stories and photos. These days it's available online from the usual vendors.
Democratic Visions is handcrafted by volunteers from Eden Prairie, Hopkins, Edina, Minnetonka, and Bloomington. Watch us on select cable systems and on our YouTube channel. This is Carol Sundstrom.